Hi, welcome back to another video. Thought I'd try something new here. In my face. Oh. I hope that comes out clear. I don't know if it'll be blurry or whatnot, but I got pretty dang close to the camera. Oh my goodness gracious. That'd be funny to see. I hope I don't got no pimples or nothing that'll show up. Oh yeah, I got a little red spot on my nose from scratching it, so that probably showed up. Oh, and I got some dry skin there. Yep. Oh my goodness gracious, how embarrassing. Oh, I better cut that out. No, I'm not gonna. You guys might have to rewind it to see it though. You might not have noticed it in the beginning. You might have to go back and see my dry skin or my little red speck on my nose. But, oh well. This is the real deal here. I ain't no AI, artificial intelligence creating it. I ain't scripted, or I'm not scripted. I remember my nephew saying, always correcting me every time I'd use the word ain't. He'd say, Uncle Darren, he said, ain't isn't a word. So it's in the dictionary now, so now it's a word. It's not. I said, let me tell you something, Cody. I said, I heard it ain't proper to say ain't 3 times because it ain't nice. And he'd be like, Uncle Darren, you know. Oh, I miss that kid too. He's no longer with you. Oh boy, oh boy. But I'm glad I'm being me. I think that's one thing that's good for this channel anyway. Is that I know what I'm doing is definitely different than any channel out there. There's a couple I watch that are pretty close. And I don't know if sometimes I feel like some of these people might have been watching me. Because a lot of the channels I watch that, because like there's times what I'm going through, it gets tough. You know, and it's tough mentally, emotionally, you know, when you're struggling. And there's there it goes. Oh, I don't like that when that happens. Oh, that's what I'm saying is that when I'm feeling kind of beat up, or feeling down, I will turn to some people's YouTube videos that talk about God or have positive messages, or their titles might catch my eye. You know, like, oh yeah, I'd like it if that was true. I'll watch that. Maybe that'll make me feel better. You know. And that, who's to say that message I wasn't supposed to hear, because it is going to happen. You know. I don't know. But so turn to a lot of these videos just for self therapy or whatever, because to listen to positive messages. And all of a sudden I start seeing some people, you know, filming in their vehicle as they're going down the road, and they're people I watch, and I haven't seen them do no videos like that. And I'm like, hey, I wonder if they watch my channel, because I've seen a few people do it now. So it's spreading. I don't know. But then or I might talk about a subject or something, and then all of a sudden, you know, a couple days later, a week later, all of a sudden they're talking about the same subject. So I don't know. It's weird. It's either that or it's all destiny or something maybe, and maybe it's something that's common. Maybe in the spiritual warfare stuff. Maybe that it's we're all you know, from the light or whatever, you know, or for God and Jesus and stuff, and we're kind of picking up on the same wavelength or something. Maybe that's what it is, you know. I don't know. But it's weird when you start seeing those similarities and stuff. Especially when everybody starts talking about the same things, you know. It kind of makes you wonder if somebody isn't getting handed a notes here. This is what you're going to talk about this week. You know, because then I'll see it on all kinds of channels. And it might not be what I'm talking about that week, but then all of a sudden it influences me. And because I watch that, then all of a sudden I'll talk about it. So maybe that's what's happening too. Maybe they're watching all these other videos and they're getting influenced by these other videos. We're all influencing each other, and maybe it is all coming from the Holy Spirit or something, to help us grow in this spiritual warfare and all the craziness that could be going on in the world. I wonder if that's a van lifer. It might be. I think a lot of them headed south, and now that the weather's starting to get a little better, some of them are heading back up this way. Must look funny me trying to turn my body there, but I am overweight without a doubt. Wish I was lighter. There's a point in time I was in really good shape, man, when I was into boxing and stuff. There's one point in time I was in super, super, super good shape. But part of me having a hard time turning there is, I don't know if it's a sciatic muscle or whatever you call it, but from your butt area going down your leg. It's really sore. I don't know if I slept on it wrong or what. I sure hope it heals up quick. It was bothering me all day today. I kept trying to lay different ways and stuff, and it was just kind of there, letting me know it's there. And maybe because I haven't felt it in a long time, so it wanted me to know it existed. Guess what? I am the muscle you forgot about, or tendon or something. I thought I'd flare up and make you remember my existence. Oh, okay. Go, just chill out, I remember you now. But yeah, it sucker hurts when I move around. So, of course, I'm getting older. Like, every time I get up from here, because I got the upper bunk here, I've got the bed part laying here instead of it stuffed up out of the way where it's all open. So I gotta stand up like this. I gotta bend as I'm standing up till I get past this spot, and then I can stand all the way up. That's because I have too much crap in here. I need to lighten my load. But my whole life has been so chaotic over the last few years. And I didn't want to lose so much stuff, and I had 2 different storage units that I've lost now. They had a lot of stuff in them. And thank goodness that I have extra stuff in the camper, because that's less stuff that I lost. Although there's advantages to it too. As much as it hurts because of the sentimental value, it does lighten your load, and I've wanted to lighten my load for a long time. So maybe some of the stuff I didn't want to lighten had to go with it. My motorcycle really bumps me out, and my motorcycle is really, really nice. But I told God when I wasn't finding work, and I knew I wasn't going to be able to pay on the storage units no more. So I told God, because God had already told me He didn't want me to work in a normal job, but I kept trying to apply and go to interviews and stuff, and I had really good interviews at all different jobs. That started out with higher paying jobs. Of course, that was instinctive to get higher paying jobs, catch up on bills and stuff. But then when I wasn't getting hired, I started dropping my expectations lower and lower just to get work and get money. Still haven't gotten hired. I think the cheapest job that I applied for was $12 an hour. So I think that was the cheapest one I applied for. But yeah, it's really weird. So I'm just bouncing all over the map here. Just talking about my situation in life. But you know what? Even though I'm going through all this hard stuff and haven't been hired, I still love the Lord, and I'll still follow Him to my grave. I will follow Him to the death of this vessel that I'm in. No one will ever take that from me. I'm always hoping and praying for more. And not to sound like a fathead or conceited, but I deserve it. I definitely do. I've planted just a lot of good seed through the years. Really, really good seed through the years. So when I look at it that and that aspect of scripture, that of what you sow you will reap or whatever, kind of like okay, I've been sowing and sowing and sowing all this kid stuff. I mean, there was a couple of years, like I said, I partied with my friends and went drinking and dancing in my teens to my 20s. That's probably where I drifted the furthest from God. And that was when my grandpa died too. That's why I drifted so much. I mean, it wasn't my grandpa's fault. It was my own escape. My grandpa, he was more than a grandpa to me. He was just a role model, kind of like a best friend and comedian and provider. And God, he was just so many different things. My grandpa was just awesome. He was a big, big part of my life. And that's because my mom and dad got divorced. And my dad, which was my grandpa's son, so it was on my dad's side of the family, that grandpa. Because my other grandpa on my mom's side, he was passed away before I was born. I think he passed away. And now my mom's mom, my grandma Grace, she was cool too, and I got to know her up until, she died when I was like 12 or something like that, 12 to 14, somewhere in there, something I'm guessing. But my grandpa, he made it a little longer, and when he died, I don't know if it was like 1920 or something like that. And I really went down the spiral hole. I turned to drinking and drugs. Not so much drinking. I smoked pot and started trying different drugs and stuff. I drank too and partied. And I was just trying to bury the hurt and run from it, man. I didn't know how to deal with it. I was like the closest person that ever had to me die. I had other people distant in the family, but it's not somebody I've seen on a regular basis. So I wasn't really close to my grandpa. So when my grandpa died, it was boy, that hurt. I don't know. I just wanted to get away from it. And when I started drinking and partying, it's like it took me away from the emotion or something. I don't know. But I'm glad I got out of that, because that was some scary times. I did a lot of stupid stuff. But other than that period, I'd say all the rest of my life before that and in the later years and stuff after that, I've always sowed really good seed and done my best to help anybody, be the best I can be. I watch just knowing Jesus' story, what I know of it in Scripture and stuff, which I understand it enough, and then the different movies or series they've done I've watched that try to portray his story. And then my most favorite of the recent ones is Chosen. Once I stumbled onto The Chosen and started watching that, I got hooked. That was really good. I like how they did all the characters in that, the actors, and going through the story of his life from, they touch base on when he was a kid a little bit, but they more concentrate on his, last few years of his life, or when he was about 30 or something like that, and there's some flashbacks where they go back to when he was younger a little bit. But yeah, that's a really good show. If you haven't watched it, The Chosen, or it's called Chosen. They have an app for it too that you can download to your device to watch it through that. And I really like that series. And just watching how they portray Jesus through that, through the different seasons, I can relate with it throughout my life and how I've treated people and the things he says in there and stuff. So I don't know where that all came from and why I've been living my life that way all my life, for the most part. I do know that when I was little, in preschool to kindergarten in there, because my mom was a single mom trying to raise me and my brother. My brother was a little rebel, and but he was old enough to go to a full day of school. So while he went to school in the morning and for a full day, my mom could get a job to work from when he's at school to when he comes back. I was younger, so as soon as I got to where I could go to preschool, and then to kindergarten. My mom could at least work half the day or whatever. It made it easy for her. She could have a family member keep an eye out for me or whatever. I was taught to be independent from when I was little, so my mom could work. Kindergarten. I started talking about in one of my other videos. I was ditching school in kindergarten because I had a key to the house, and my mom was a single mom raising us. So she'd have to head out to work, and so she'd see me off to school, and then she'd head to work. And then my brother was already at school, and then when the school day ended is when we both get out at the same time, and my mom would come back so many hours later. So my brother was supposed to be kind of responsible for me, but he always wanted to pick on me and stuff. Not a nice brother. But I always took it as brothers. That's just how brothers were. They'd fight with each other and stuff. But yeah, through the years I've learned that wasn't normal. It wasn't normal the way he treated me. And I always thought it was supposed to be normal that brothers and sisters fight and stuff. But this was beyond that. But anyway, I didn't know any better until as I got older. I started learning more that it wasn't right. But so being young and independent from a young age. Oh my goodness, am I getting long again? Yes, I am. I started ditching school in kindergarten and was kind of on my own a lot. But in the preschool to kindergarten, my mom would put me in Bible school too. Salvation Army. And I don't know if that was, I can't remember now if that was like, if that would be before school. That it was somewhere though. It was definitely to keep me busy, something for me to do that would be, my mom figured that'd be good for me, and it would give her a little free time to work, somewhere else. I think when I went to Bible school, that's when she'd work for this appliance outfit that would sell used appliances, and she'd scrub them up and clean them up and make them look like new again. They were impressed with her because my mom just knew how to scrub and clean. She really knew how to put some elbow grease into stuff. Take something that was old and just looked like it was dead and no good and make it look brand new again. And so I was already in like Bible school and stuff at the Salvation Army when I was in preschool, kindergarten, and learning about Jesus. And we'd go to church on Sundays with my mom's side of the family, and then the other thing that helped too is the years growing up. My aunt, she was really creative, and she'd write scripts. And every Christmas Eve, my mom's side of the family would get together, and we'd have like about 200 of us that would get together at my aunt's house, and all 3 floors, the whole house would be so full, man. And the big partiers were on the top floor where the big stereos were and the thumping music and stuff. And then the like older generations that were partiers too, because there were a few different age groups there. But then the younger kids would be downstairs with the people that just like basically drink alcohol and would celebrate, and they'd play some music down there too. But the people upstairs were, probably smoking pot or whatever they're doing and really thumping it out up there. And then there's some people down the basement where they'd have the food and stuff. And my aunt would write scripts every year, and we'd put on a play. She'd take all the family kids and start doing, whoever signed up to want to be in the play. They try to always keep all those kids involved. And then we'd do rehearsals and stuff and learn our scripts and stuff. And then by Christmas Eve, when we'd all get together, those kids would put on a play. One year it was the story of Jesus, and I played Joseph in that one. That was just about baby Jesus being born, and then so we just do different plays and scripts. So that's where I got to learn some of the stuff too, and so I really had some good encouragement all around me. My grandpa was a believer too, and on my dad's side, it was a big part of my life. And so I just had a lot of good godly influences around me, and So yeah, I've been doing that all my life, pretty much, real close to God, because that's the way I was raised, since I can remember. And I did stray for a little while, but sorry about that one, Lord. I hurt pretty much when Grandpa died. I know I faded away a little bit. I know I've apologized about it before, but I'm sorry again. I'm glad I'm back. I hope you are too. I don't know, sometimes I talk to him so much. I wonder if he gets sick of hearing from me. I talk to him on a daily basis throughout the day. Thanks again for watching. My big fat thumb beard in my head. I'll see you later. See you on the next one. God bless you.